Good Tuesday morning, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining us for the first time. Welcome to the Market Chameleon pre-market show. And there he is, the King Chameleon, Dmitry. How you doing, D?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Excellent. So what do we have on tap for this morning, my friend?
Yep. So today, I think what we'll do is we'll go over, we'll start with the pre-market report. We did push out a new tool, a new feature with time and sales. So I'll go over that. I have to make a better effort at, we always push out and make tweaks here and there. So I'll just demonstrate that new feature today. Yesterday we're off because we had a lot of emails and we really appreciate it. But I had a bad cough and I didn't want to go on a show and have you guys listen to that.
Well, it's not only the cough, right? You actually pulled a terrible muscle in your back because of the cough.
As I was the cough, it was so violent, it was really bad cough that actually, because you tense up and it was pretty bad. So we took the day off, but we really appreciate it because, got a lot of emails and everybody, we didn't say why, but everybody was wishing us well, a lot of love. So we love you guys too. And thank you for that.
Nothing better than chameleon love. We do, before we get started, though, we should do the disclaimer before I forget.
Yep. So everyone, before we get started, keep in mind, Will and I, Market Chameleon, we're not registered investment advisors. We're not broker dealers. We're not telling you what to do. If you need professional advice, call your registered investment advisor or your broker. That's what they're there for, to give you advice, provide you with guidance. There's the disclaimer.
Excellent.
And let's start with the pre-market report. If there are any questions out there regarding Market Chameleon tools, analytics, strategies, you want to share strategies that have been working for you, that'll be excellent. You come on a show, let everybody know. If you've experienced things that didn't work out, you want to share that, maybe tell us what happened. That's also useful. A couple ways to ask questions. You could put them in a live chat. Will's monitoring that. He'll read them back to me. We'll also put out a link to Zoom. If you click over on that link, you go over to Zoom, raise your hand. You don't have to turn on your video camera, but you could ask your question live and direct. So with that, we'll start with the pre-market report. If there are no questions, I'll move on. There's to a new tool that I mentioned on the time and sales. And it's a way to narrow down things quicker on an individual stock, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's start with the pre-market report. And these are stocks that are moving in a pre-market hours. We have our most active stocks, biggest percentage gainers, biggest percentage decliners. I see 40 made the percentage gainers list, 55 on the decliners. Excuse me. So kind of a mixed bag, maybe a little bit more bearish. Right now, bias at the open. Let's take a look at the stocks in the S&P 500. If we see a similar situation, so I'm coming up here where the filters are. I'm going to use this in ETF filter, drop it down, and I'm going to select the SPY ETF. This will filter everything out by the SPY holdings or S&P 500 holdings. And I see 6 on the percentage gainers list, 11 on the decliners. So not a big list, but a little bit more bearish than bullish, a little bit more bearish at the open. If there are no questions on this, Will, I'll just kind of move on, show some of the new features.
Excellent.
All right. So, and we are doing, by the way, a webinar today at, what time is it, Will?
It's 2:00, the interactive brokers. I think it's IV skew we're going to focus on today.
Yep. So within that interactive brokers, you guys can register. It'll be on IV skew. We'll talk about vertical skew and horizontal skew. And that's at 2:00 today. So let me just pick a stock here. And I apologize. I took some cough drops and cough medicine. I was hoping that cough would go away. So look, on the video, if you go to a specific stock, and you want to look up the time and sales or the trades, what traded in those options. You could go, you see here, I put NVIDIA. I'm on the main page and I go under options trades. And this will have a list of the option trades, time and sales for the day. So you can see there's just in the NVIDIA, 117,000 different option trades on the day, which is a lot. And, we kind of made that available, and, we even made it available for download for further analysis, but people have asked us to filter this down further. So a couple filters, new filters that we added on this list. And we talked about this one. You can narrow down the time frame. And why you might want to do that is, let's say you saw a certain spike at a certain hour. Let me go here. I'm going to just pop this ticket here. And let's go to charts in NVIDIA, and I'm going to look at option volume. And this is throughout the day by time. And let's say you wanted to see what happened here, 245 to 250. There's a big spike. So we could take a look at that and narrow it down by the time. So I'm going to pick 2:45 p.m. And then that's the start time. And let's do end time. I'm going to do 2:50 p.m. Right. And then let's load that. So it's now I have 25 of the trades to go through. And, I could sort now by quantity. So I could see where the biggest quantity, what options traded, and what type of trade, auto execution, regular, was it a sweep, was it a multi-trade? So that's one way to kind of narrow it down by time and see what happened. What was the option, what was the quantity, trade price, notional, where was the market at the time, the implied volatility, open interest on the contract, where was the stock at the time, and so forth. So that's one way to narrow stuff down. We also added these other filters, and these are the newer ones: by trade condition, trade quantity, notional value of the trade, and option type. So I'm going to refresh the screen here. And let's say we don't necessarily need the time frame, but we want to filter out maybe something significant. Okay. And let's say I want to look for a particular type of trade, and I could take these conditions and I could look at, regular, just auto execution, intermarket sweep, or regular, or just intermarket sweep orders, or multi-leg, stock contingent. So let's take a look at multi-leg. So I'm going to first filter out the multi-leg. I'm going to reload it. And I see that there are a lot of multi-legs out there, right? So there's still a lot, 13,800. What are multi-legs? It could be spreads, straddles, strangles, butterflies, anything that to the trade, there's more than one part to that trade, right? There's more than one leg to the option. It's not just a straight call or put, but it's some kind of multi-leg, right? Now, of course, there are a lot of them, but some of them are just, small trades. Maybe people doing vertical spreads, maybe people, doing straddles, whatever. So let's see if there are any significant ones. And we could then narrow this down further by the quantity trade of the trade or the notional value of the trade. So let's try quantity. Let's go let's do over 200, see what we find. So you could see now over 200. It had to be at least over 200 on each leg. We see that, excuse me, there's 7 of them. And then we could just take a look, you know, we could see this one happen at the same time. This one, you know, there might have been another trade to it that didn't hit the 200. These two were at the same time. These two are at the same time, so they're probably related, right? On the same exchange, MultiLeg. So that's a faster way to get narrowed down because we just got to 7 out of, what was there, like 180,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at maybe regular trades and with a notional value of at least 50,000, right? So let's do that. See how many we pop up. So here, notional value 50,000. I got quite a bit, 262. So let's narrow it down further, maybe 100,000. And now we got 72. So this is, again, just another way of narrowing down the trades to get closer and closer to maybe the most significant ones, right? We could also do it by call or put. So let's just see the most significant calls. So there you go. For above 100,000, you know, there were 52 trades in the calls. And we could just sort them by, you know, by notional top, ascending order, descending order. So here's the top one, Feb 22, 210 call. And there were 53 of those that traded for $38. That's $201,000 worth of notional value in that trade. Then you could compare where the market was and the time of that trade. So wanted to show you really quickly this tool. We did have requests to be able to narrow it down here. So a couple ways, what did we go over? You could narrow it by the time frame, the condition, trade quantity, the notional value of the trade, or call or put. Even if we do, let's say, multi-leg, let's say we're looking for maybe potentially call spreads, we could do multi-leg call, reload it. And this way, it'll give you, let's narrow this down further, maybe, let's say above 25,000 in notional. Still a lot of them. Maybe, sorry, well, I can't. It was worse yesterday.
Well, no one's complaining. They're just happy to have you aboard today and that you're alive.
Yeah. So this is, you know, so this is how to use this tool. But if there are no questions, and we do have a webinar today, I might just end it earlier. You know, just because of that call.
No, that's fine. We did have a question previously, and it was another and I forget, he's not, the Chameleon is not on right now, but I think it was maybe Chris was asking about the ETF inflows, outflows, how that works. It was something he hadn't seen on his screen, but he was seeing it on yours. He was asking what that is and if it's going to be available to the whole Chameleon community.
Yeah, so one of the things that we are working on, that's a main focus, is a order flow analysis, right? Where are people moving money? How are they moving money? Who's moving it? Is it retail? Is it institutional? And we're doing that in the options. You know, we're constantly looking for ways to improve it in the stock and even in the funds. And in the ETFs, we just license new data from a vendor, but it takes time to integrate it. So we'll have, more data than we have now, because right now we only cover the major ETFs, not all of them. This one we're trying to expand to all of them. And when you look at ETFs, what happens is, and you don't see this, these are my tests, what you probably noticed it because I'm on my test environment. The way the ETFs work is that they could be created or redeemed, right? So if more people are buying ETFs, the dealers have to create more. If people are getting out, they redeem them, then the units go down. And when the units go up, there are more inflows, right? When the units are going down, there are outflows. And you could keep track of that from day to day. And that's how ETF inflows, outflows. So here, that's what right now in my test environment, I'm doing just on the top ones. But yes, we will be adding those as we integrate with the new vendor. But like anything, we've got to validate data. We have to, test it out. We go check. We have to create the tools, work out the bugs. So it is something that we are working on. I'm showing you just in my test environment. But the idea is we're going to look at a couple things where there are inflows and outflows in the ETFs, where we're going to do it by sectors and on the stock level as well. Sorry. So I think that's it.
All right, my friend, we will let you go there. All the chameleons say you need to get in bed and rest, maybe some chicken noodle soup for you.
And get ready for today's webinar.
All right, my friend. Great effort.
Right.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll see you at 2 p.m. today. I put the link in the chat. You have to register, even if you can't make it live at 2 p.m. If you register on the Interactive Broker website, they will send you a link to the video. So, and all of our videos we've done, I think this is either the 8th or the 9th video. They're all there for your viewing on the IBKR, that's Interactive Broker website under webinars. Dima, great job, my friend.
Great. Thanks, Will.
All right, have a safe trading day, everyone.